Welcome back to Essence TV. The last guest joining our conversation today is Dr. Stephen Clarke. He's involved in several projects partnering with government, enterprise and research bodies. He heads up various clean tech projects in the development of bioenergy, biofuels and water research projects, and he's joining us to chat specifically on Flinders University's involvement in addressing the lack of water across the nation through the reclamation of stormwater. Stephen, great to have you back on Essence TV.
Yes, hello Kari.
Thank you for your time. How's Flinders University involved in the capture, treatment and use of stormwater?
Yes, we've got a very large project that's funded by the federal government and a consortium of international partners, and what we're trying to do on this project is to take a filtration media that's commonly used in water treatment processes, and we're actually putting a nano coating over the surface of this material that will actually take toxins out of the water, so that the water that runs off the road contains various dissolved salts and toxins and things like that. This will take these out of the water, and then we can clean them up ready for reuse later on.
So the membrane technology that's being developed at Flinders is something that's going to be helping us to utilise the water that we do get?
Yes, this is slightly different to membrane technology. This is a filtration process where we're taking aggregates and we're filtering the water through the aggregates to remove some of the toxins. A lot of the membranes that are used, which we're also involved in that sort of technology, filter salts out of the water in a different way and give us a drinking water material.
Mm-hmm. So is this project that Flinders is involved with in relation to stormwater, does it have a state, a national or a global focus?
It has all of them. It's actually, I suppose, an international project or a global focus because it's funded by the Australian government primarily, but it also has significant funding input from an organisation called the SDWA, or Singapore Delft Water Alliance, which is a consortium between the University of Singapore and Deltares, which is an organisation, a water treatment organisation in Holland, and it also has United Water, which is an Australian company involved. So we're looking to treat stormwater runoff in Singapore, but it will also have application in Australia and in South Australia, and in fact one of your guests here, Colin Pittman from the city of Salisbury, we're looking to work with him to use this technology in some of the very novel water treatment, stormwater treatments that the city of Salisbury are involved in.
So we've got the state involvement, we've got the international involvement. How is Flinders University's work going to figure on a national stage?
On a national stage, well, obviously through things like the National Desalination Centre, we'll be able to use these sort of technologies as well in that sort of area. So that's where we see that fitting in.
And you're involved in a number of these different projects that have different focus, but obviously there's overlap. Do you have trouble working out which hat you're wearing on each day?
Oh yes, we do. One of the things that we're involved in, I've mentioned before, in biofuels, is we believe that some of the technologies that we're using in biofuels can actually be used to help treat water as well. So we can actually overlap and use the microalgae technology, which is used can be used in making biofuels, but also to clean up the water. So we get two effects. We can clean up the water with the microalgae, but then we can also use those to produce a fuel and provide the energy to run the wastewater system. So this is an opportunity that we see that we would like to develop in the future.
It could almost be a closed system. You develop the bioalgae to provide the energy to then clean the water that you use to grow the bioalgae. Yes,
absolutely. That's the exactly right. That's the concept.
That's fantastic. So, do you believe that the stormwater reclamation projects that are underway could actually be part of the solution to Australia's water issues?
Yes, in fact, but there is no one solution. Like desalination, one of the issues with reclaimed stormwater is something that people don't appreciate is that it's very expensive compared to simply piping water from the Murray River. That's actually a lot cheaper to do that. than to treat reclaimed stormwater, which is one of the problems that is involved. Also, desalination is an expensive technology. So what we're going to have is a whole raft of new technologies to, I guess, replace some of the older technologies that we've got in water. So we'll need to develop all of these, and we're going to need funds to be able to push the prices down on these new technologies, because some of them are still expensive.
Now, obviously, where the focus is for a large-scale commercialisation for the nation and then taking it internationally, do you see this technology also being available for individual homeowners that want to set up their home when they start building to make their entire house block to be energy efficient and water efficient?
That's a very interesting question. We hadn't really focused on that area. We've actually looked at the project that's coming out of Singapore. We're looking at taking runoff water from buildings and treating those, and cleaning the water up before it runs into water reuse systems. So I think it could be developed that way. But at the moment we're looking at sort of larger applications.
Mm-hmm. So at the moment each house has a rainwater tank. Possibly in the future they might have the capability to capture the stormwater. That's clean it.
Certainly an option. One of the big issues with stormwater reclamation at the moment is that they use wetland systems which take up very large areas of land, and with land prices that makes the treatment of harvested stormwater quite expensive. So if we can develop systems that are sort of more vertical systems instead of horizontal systems, then we've got an opportunity to perhaps push the prices down in these sort of processes. And perhaps we could have one in each house treating stormwater.
And I'd imagine that a country like Singapore, where land is a premium and they're trying to reclaim land all the time, that sort of vertical integration would be very important.
Yes, that's right. And one of the things that they're very concerned about is that they have water that have a tropical storm and water rushes down concrete drains. It's very fast, it's quite dangerous. So what they're looking to do is to have more people-friendly systems where the water goes down slower, and as it's going down these slower systems, which has got plants and looks a lot more attractive, and rocks and gardens around it, it's also cleaning up the water as it's running down, instead of just having all that water rush down a concrete drain and out into the ocean.
Indeed. Well, we've run out of time again. I could sit and chat to you for all night about this stuff. I just love the fact that we can celebrate wonderful technology that is leading the world, and it's based right here on our doorstep. Stephen, thank you for the work you're doing and for being with us on the show.
Okay, thank you, Kari.
Dr. Stephen Clarke is heading up a number of clean tech projects through Flinders University. Well, that brings our conversation on stormwater to a close. I do hope that you've been inspired and encouraged by the amazing technological developments happening right here in Australia, which could help solve our water issue on into the future. My thanks to my guests, Mr. Colin Pittman, Dr. Paul Dalby and Dr. Stephen Clarke. Thank you too for your company. I do hope you've enjoyed the show. If you have, tell your friends, and I look forward to your company again next time right here on Essence TV.